there and over there. That's all ricochets. It's not down here because that inner line too much of such a waste here. Over here, folks, where I found my first bullet. That's where the mini bomb, obviously that's bullet damage, but this is where the mini bombs hit. Look how that's oxidized here. There's a chunk of lead that has not oxidized. Maybe it's an imperfection in the brick, but right there as well. Over here's a chunk of lead that has not oxidized. And obviously you know you're on hell ground here, but to give you another horrible story. Imagine a Charles Case, 183rd Ohio, standing right there. A mini ball hits that brick, knocks his eyeball out, it's hanging by the tendon on his cheek. He shoves it back into the socket, puts a handkerchief over it, walks off the field in Nashville, and on December 17th, Charles Case's last words as he went to heaven was, "Oh sweet chariot, don't leave me behind." Those words haunt me to this day. "Oh sweet chariot, don't leave me behind." So folks, we have permission to walk over there.
Tom, question. It seems to me like the diameter of the holes up high are a little smaller than down below as a general rule.
I don't know. Maybe they're going upward and it's not making as big of a hole.
Sorry.
Well, doubt that. That's what my opinion is. But it was a major.
Okay.
Major Meek died, of course, with the 6 Arkansas, and I know the 6 Arkansas colors came through here. And that major is holding a flag, so that's what I'm ascertaining.
Did you say MacArthur died in Nashville?
No, he lived to be the father of General Douglas MacArthur.
Okay, so that was after.
All in all, I think we plugged up for the weather, didn't we?
Yeah.
He's a Medal of Honor winner.
And a fight song too.
Folks, we're standing about right here in the middle of the Carter Garden where they grew onions, turnips, cabbage, had pear trees. Now it's the smoking column of what one federal said the devil took possession of the ground here. Now you see obviously this gravel driveway. In 1996, my best friends own these 2 homes. I'm the only person that can't allow to take people over here. They're going to do in this driveway, see what you can find. We're going to find something, we knew that. I know a cannonball that was found in the past there, and a lot of stuff here. 3 days we found over 2,000 mini balls, 3 ramrods, 3 bayonets, Wisconsin buttons, Missouri buttons, federal, had the gold gilt on it, nipple wrenches. That means to take the nipple off, but that's a personal thing because your rifle's fouled up. You're trying to for thousands of percussion caps. The bullets still had the gunpowder on them. It was like a time capsule. You opened up a Hotchkiss cup or bottom. That's a canister round that was from across the street. Now, does it make sense? I'll show you exactly where the trench line was. But we're standing close to that fence. But look at that angle. Look how they're shooting down on our backs. And we're going to go over there in a second, but this was very emotional. 3 days, last day in the rain that night, we were doing that. We're going to get 3 days left to do that. And unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yes, ma'am.
So once the Army's moved on, you've got all this stuff all over the ground. Do townspeople come in and put dirt over it, or is it just left here?
The men buried their comrades in the ditches. And in this case, they got the POW Federals to bury their comrades in the ditches.
So this was all from burials?
Well, it was just from the battle and from the fighting here, because we're getting ready to go through what occurred here, 17 attacks back and forth. We're getting ready to interpret right now.
I think he's asking why they left, the townspeople left it laying there.
Well, those things are in the ground, in the dirt, and we're talking
People
about...
stepping on it, and it gets
Yeah,
down
and there's
in the dirt while you're marching around.
one company of the 80th Indiana, which would be right there, and I feel a sneeze coming, I'm sorry. One company B, that's about maybe 60 or something. Okay, let's say 100. They fired 1,200 rounds alone. That's just one company of 80th Indiana Regiment. So there's tens of trillions of mini balls everywhere.
And it had rained recently, so the ground would have been, so if you kept stepping on it, it would just get buried.
And there was no big deal in the old days. A bullet, mini ball, hell, they're everywhere. Now it is, you know, but back then, it's even kids, right before my generation, you could find them everywhere. Everywhere. But now it's underneath the ground pretty deep. They were taking 3 feet off the top. And That's where it was. But I'll show you where the exact trench line was here, which is right behind you, right here. Look at this bridge right over there, by the way. That bridge over there is just right here. Right here. That's that bridge right there. Right here. Bridges, Illinois battery. It's over there. They are blasting the hell out of the Confederates coming up over that rise. And right here, we're standing right in this spot. Notice how this starts to veer back that way. 2 square acre Carter Garden. The Confederates are here. The Federals are there. And look what's in front of us if we're all Confederates. 4 cannons of the 20th Ohio Battery just 60 yards from us. We're going to get on that perspective in a while. Now, the Confederates. They're hitting from behind. The Confederates leaped over these trenches and howling like banshees. Like, as one Federal said, that yell should be copyrighted. Tennessee goes down. It's 11th and 29th. If they get across the second attack, holding the colors of the 44th Missouri. He gets right after this inner line. He's shot down 7 times. Those colors are captured. They're repelled. They fall back. Bradshaw laid out here 3 days and they printed his obituary. And guess what? He lives. He lives. And I've come to find out in my old age is that war, sports, and politics make mighty strange benefits. Do you think about it? No! Bad language. Brigadier Star, he never fed us, he only drilled us. We're glad the son of a bitch died. Guess what? He lived, he came home. To be fair, some gave him a cane. But they always said, we're sorry you know what lived. Strange, isn't it? Irony, isn't it? So now they're driven back. Now the Confederates again leap over the trenches, attacking through the garden. Another color barrel, 21st Tennessee, they hold it in this arm, he holds it in this arm. Excuse me. The 31st Tennessee colors go down. The man picks up. Another man goes down. Another color. The 29th Tennessee goes down. Woodchoppers here. You have yellow and blue flames pouring out of this line here, the Confederates. That's been 4 attacks. Now the 5th attack. Howling again through the smoke. The 31st Tennessee colors going out again. 2 more colors. Flag in the air. And who catches it? A man by the name of Edgar Rudy, D-R-U-E-X. He's a New Orleans blue blood. His great-great-grandfather's Victor Hugo. His great-great-grandmother's whoever helped found it New Orleans. He was assistant engineer. Why was he with the Tennesseans? Demopolis, Alabama, September 64. He had a dispute with an engineer about the placement of the lines. The engineer challenged his genealogy. That means the word you've heard a few times today. I want to make it real quick is that my daddy taught me when I was 9 years old. He said, I need to speak to you outside. Sit down, son. Okay. I want to talk to you about something. Okay. He said, if any man ever calls your mom a female dog, I expect you do something about it. Now, if you're at school, you get them off school grounds. But if you don't do something about it, I'm going to be mighty damn disappointed in you. Well, when I was 9 years old, first thing I said is, Daddy, why would they call mom a female dog? And he said, the terminology is what you've heard, SOB. And I said, I expect you to do something about it. Now, that's what I was taught. Back then, that's a killing offense. You call my mama that, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. And Edgar Rudy beat the man around the head, neck, and shoulders, had him on the ground, bloody pulp, strangled him to death. His eyes were coming out of his head, and they pulled him off and arrested him, put him in jail. Who's the provost? 11th and 29th. That coming up here said, hey, you want to come with us? Sure. He had on a red engineer kepi. He caught the 11th and 29th Tennessee colors and carried him to that trench line, killed carrying those colors. That flag is wrapped around him. That's at the State Museum today. His blood, among others, is still on that flag. I held that flag. I felt General Francis Cochrana's kepi in my own hands that he was carrying when he was wounded 5 times. So they get right amongst the guns, hand to hand, and now they're driven back. The 111th Ohio during the battle built a barricade. A barricade basically going north-south, but now they're shooting down this Carter Garden when they can see, but they're shooting their own men too. Remember, they came through 435. It's right about dusk, and there's already been 5 attacks to this garden of 17 attacks. Some say 13 attacks. So let's go over to the 20th Ohio Battery right there, and we're going to pick up with the federal perspective in all these attacks as well. Here you go, Clay. Carter House. This is Carter House. But right there is a Ricochet. 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 And look at this straight on fire. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Ricochet. Ricochet. 14. There's a Corporal Robert Goff hiding up there shooting. Said he counted 13 charges. That's what he counted. And I was given a tour here in about 2000, and a man came up to me and said, that's my great-great-grandfather. I have a photograph of him. Would you like it? As an old man, about my age. But yeah, they gave us a photograph of the Carter House here. So let's about face, and we'll walk over by the 20th Ohio Battery. Here. Of course, you know where we're standing, 60 yards south, right up. We're standing right there, now we're standing right here. Now the Confederates come through this garden again. They get right amongst the guns. You're Lieutenant Scoble, you're commanding this battery. Pow, you're dead. You're Lieutenant Burdick, second in command. Pow, you're mortally wounded. Now you're a sergeant. You're commanding this battery now. You're grabbing Wisconsinites like McTooney. You stand there. McIntosh, you stand there. Pow, pow, you're dead. And just give me the shell. Of course, infantry don't know how to use artillery. Just stand there. Do this. Put your thumb on that vent there. And they're not even swabbing the barrels. This cannon fired these cannons, 4 of them fired 169 rounds. And they said every volley, remember double shot canister, lumber, timber, debris, dirt, and body parts just flying all over creation. We're comrades in those ditches. Our friends are dissolving around us. They're going to pieces around us. And that's why the big talkers, they're the ones that are the biggest cowards. The ones, I always am scared of the quiet fellas. They're the little quiet ones. They're the ones you watch because they will Pearl Harbor you in a second. And they're the ones that stand up to the rack, fodder or no fodder. It's the quiet fellas. The big talkers are the ones that run, but you couldn't run if you wanted to run because it's safer to stay in those ditches than to run. And if I'm going up against cannons and I don't get a good peg on an infantryman, what do I shoot down to keep them from dragging these cannons off quickly?
Horses.
The poor animals. I don't know why that even touches me in some way more because they're innocent even more. It's our choice to go to war. They just came, and 17 of the 24 horses are screaming and lurching up and falling down and dying around this chaos of hell. Joe Gingerly, 111th Ohio, that never heard him utter an oath. He came back to get ammunition at that sinkhole right back there. He's pegged down. This is carpeted with dead and wounded here as the Confederates fall back. Now it's dark. the 72nd Illinois Regimental colors, they make it a counterattack and are annihilated.